Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another dispatch. It's a cold winter day here in Colorado. I guess probably everywhere right now in the United States. Um, I don't I don't want to say too much. I don't know what really to say except something about just acknowledging the times we're in and the darkness, I guess, and that it's important to keep working, to hold to what we know to be true. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, keeping faith. So, okay, I I brought something else today. Amy Sillman, one lump or two. When is this from? This is from, I think, 2017, 2014. It's been over 10 years. But there's a nice, I thought I'd read from the beginning of this. If you're not familiar with her work, I'll throw in something into the email. But I need to change my glasses. I really need to change my recording. Can you hear me? Yes. I need to change my prescription is really what I need to do. Okay. So Amy Sillman, uh, she's alive. She's not that old. I don't know. What is she? In her 60s? I don't even know. New York, kind of abstract, representational, playful. Okay. Amy Sillman, Look, Touch, Embrace. This is written by Helen Molesworth. Cut and paste, February 16, 2013. Bushwick, Brooklyn. Spent today at Amy Sillman's studio finalizing the selection of cartoons and drawings for her show. At the end of the day, she showed me her latest work, a series of what she called fast paintings, large affairs comprised of a patchwork of smoothly painted, hard-edged, and atmospheric shapes. They clearly grow out of the animations she has been making on her iPhone. The texture of the paint is in dialogue with that of digital images, flat, effortless, luminous, and fast. Even the palette is quote unquote digital. The colors all bright and uncomplicated, straight up green, blue, and purple rather than robin's egg or butter. They are kind of badass paintings for Amy. They totally don't care whether or not the viewer, likes them. They have a kind of jaunty confidence. Screw all that neurotic stuff. The stuff in Amy's work I love the best. So long, ambivalence. These paintings are too fast for such jagged emotional weight to cling to them. They are out ahead of psychic struggle. They don't even look back. Fuckers. But leave it to Amy to have two new things to present me with in the studio. She also showed me a stack of collages that took the top off of my head. She makes them by drawing on large sheets of paper, cutting shapes out of the drawings, and then pasting either the shape or the whole piece of paper with the shape cut out of it onto other drawings the same size. The drawings are predominantly black, white, and gray, although some have red calligraphic marks in pencil or crayon, sinuous lines that border on doodles. See figure 1. I'll throw in figure 1. Nice. That. 30 by 22.5 inches, a whole sheet. All right. La 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 la. The cutout shapes look like the shadows of Henry Moore's sculptures, voluptuous forms that evoke ceramic vessels and the human form, thick, emphatic, hand-drawn lines of black watercolor ink traverse the tops of the collages, both gliding over and being obscured by patches of pasted paper. These lines do a lot of work. 20 years into Amy's career, they are so recognizably hers as to stand in for her signature, and their graphic strength helps restore the figure-ground relation troubled by the collage. Yet they do something else as well. Every once in a while, the black lines form a representational image. Here a vase of flowers, there an eye, here a window, there a sofa. But even as they do this, they retain their identity as marks, swipes, and drags of the brush, plays of thick and thin, exercises in movement across the page. In other words, even though they are figurative, they are also trenchantly abstract. The lines cohere to represent the stuff of daily life, familiar from the history of Cubist collage, but they also read just as shapes, squares, circles, lines. They never feel like an actual window. They are merely a sketch or an idea of a window. And as such, they read as a sign, meaning that the very abstractness of the idea window is all of a sudden placed in relation to the abstract shapes and marks Sillman has entered on the page. Observing this gave me one of those big aha moments, the dichotomy between figuration and abstraction is untenable. All representation is abstract, and all abstraction, no matter how rigorous, is funneled through the language and habits of mind that are representation. It's not even that one can't have one without the other, but that they are simultaneous. The fast painting started to make even more sense because speed and velocity, or velocity, is one of the most effective languages we have for thinking about temporality. The all-at-onceness of the collages is produced as well by the use of cut and paste. What is underneath and what is on top of the drawings has a geological dimension of unearthing or uncovering. Such metaphors of excavation summon the paradoxical nature of archaeological time. The past inextricably in the present as a frame for the past. Another instance of the simultaneity of time. Quote, I take a class in semiotics for fun. On the quiz, I flub the meaning of the sign and get a bad grade. Unquote. We're a little more, and then we'll pause. The contemporary stage. Painting is perhaps more influential and vital today than any time since the heyday of the New York School in the late 1940s and early 1950s. I thought there was a reason why I jumped from de Kooning to this. Feels like it. Like she belongs after de Kooning. While the talk then was heroically inclined toward the triumph of American painting, right? There's that book. Contemporary discussions of painting tend to fall into three loose categories or formations. There is talk of failed paintings or paintings with ambivalence. Mary Haleman, Jutta, Cotter, Albert Olin, Charlene von Hale. There are discussions of painting in relation to affect, the power of painting to summon and produce emotional states. Dana Schutz, Nicole Eisenman, Ulrike Müller. And finally, there is a discourse of painting that challenges its very medium specificity, either through experimentation with non-traditional materials or through consideration of painting's relation to other dominant forms of image making, such as photography. Cheney Thompson, Wade Goyton, Mark Bradford. It is within this rich terrain that the work of Amy Sillman has risen to prominence. Her status as a painter is immediately problematized by her commitment to the mediums of drawing, cartoons, collage, prints, and most recently, animation. And despite her traditional painterly concerns, which include, in no particular order, the play with figure and ground, the exploration of color and line, the consideration of problems of scale, and the creation of flat or recessive space, she frequently resists conventional presentations of her work. Instead, she'll choose to arrange drawings in a continuous horizon line, frames abutting even as the pictures wrap around corners, or group small paintings into ersatz salon hangings, or intersperse monumental paintings with small comic drawings and or zines, all as a way of resisting or disrupting the now historical modernist practice of hanging paintings one after another in a discrete white space designed to promote the autonomy of art. That's art with a capital A. Sillman's modest display strategies of interjection and displacement amplify the contradictory affective states of neurosis and happiness, loneliness and sociability, which typify her oeuvre. So, even though her entire oeuvre can be seen as an extended exploration of the formal principles of art in her work and its presentation, she takes very seriously the affective possibilities of painting, cueing color to emotion, and layering onto the non-verbal realm the visual jokes and humor inherent to cartoons and comics. None of this could be described as remotely heroic. Rather, Sillman's project suggests that neurosis and ambivalence are not childish conditions to be overcome or suppressed, but rather are productive engines for contemporary art. Quote, I'm trying to remove a heroic image and deal with that erasure. Okay, something more. Amy Sillman. I'll throw in some images. Okay, keep making stuff. Yeah. Take care, everyone. Be well. Bye-bye.